There are some clients that stay with me for a long time, and in these cases, I create a notebook to share the progress and other information about the consulting work with them. Let me show you how it works. The notebook consulting is for the clients that stay with me for a couple of days or one session, one note for each client, but for today's example, we need a new notebook. I always start it with the name consulting. This will make it easier for me and for the client to understand what this notebook is. I usually use this bar and then the client name. Let's call it client X. And as you can see, starting it with the word consulting also helps to group the notebooks. Of course, you can always create a stack. Let's create a new stack here. I don't know, all clients. Let's call it all clients. And now I can either click here and add that to the stack or drag it to the stack. Now I have here my main consulting notebook and the client's notebook. And to make things even better, let's move this to the shortcuts. Now I can easily go to the consulting notebook or to a specific client or hide the list. When it's a new client, new notebook, I usually don't share it right away. What I do is first create some basic structure and then I'll share it. So let's do this. Let's use client B. The first thing I do here is create a summary and also a sessions note. And now to make them easily accessible, I'll add a reminder with no date. Both notes will get this reminder. We now have this new tab here on the top of the notes list. For now, the notes are the same because we only have notes with reminders. But believe me, this note list will become very crowded, and this reminders tag will make accessing the summary and the session notes quite easy. The session notes title is always the date. I have this format that I created for the dates. You can use whatever you want. I always use it like this. And the first thing I'll add is a link to the sessions note. Then I'll add a line like this. Tasks and notes. Now let's make this a little better. Or you can, of course, use the keyboard shortcut. I'm also using a color here. And now, if you have many titles like this, you can go back here and update medium header to match. And now they are all blue. Did you know that one? Since we are here, let's use the link. I'll go to the sessions. The first thing on the top of this list is a link to, it used to be Calendly. Now I'm using Google's Workspace scheduling feature, but whatever you use, you can add a link here. I'm gonna add my website, but you got the point. Sessions, again, we'll make this a little better. Now a table, I want 3 columns. Here, again, a keyboard shortcut. Let's make this a little better. And now you understand why I use a date as the note title. When I drag it here, at the same time, I create a link to that note, and I'm also writing the date of that meeting. And finally, the attendee. Sometimes it's the team, sometimes, I don't know, person A. I can mark this one as complete. And if my client or we need to see what happened on that session, all we have to do is click here and we are back to that note. And remember, this is a shared notebook, so tasks here can be tasks I'm adding, tasks my client is adding. Any one of us is assigning tasks to other people participating on the consulting sessions. And by the way, if you're a member of the channel, you can download all these notes to create your own system. Before we move on, bear with me for a moment. I have to show you this. I'll change the creation date of this note to yesterday. So let's make it create it on the 11. And now if I duplicate this note, right click here and duplicate the note, it will be created with yesterday's date. It will not have the today's creation date. The other option would be create a template, but I cannot do that because that note has a link. The solution here is create a fake template. So let's do it. Let me duplicate this note and let's call it sessions plate. Okay. And again, I'm adding a reminder with no date. Again, pretend that this list is really long, that there's a lot of notes here. Let's create a new session here. Today is another day. Come here, select it all, copy, and paste. Now we can take the meeting notes, add a task. Let's go to the sessions and add this one here and complete that session. Hold on, there's more. Let's say during this session, a client asked me, how did you create these links? How links work in Evernote? Of course, I'll explain it to him, but I'll also create a note here. How to create links. In this case, I have a YouTube video explaining how to do it. I'll copy the link of that video and I'll paste it here. And now the client has access to this video explanation. Other times I'll have a note that I'll be adding information all the time. So let's call it shortcuts. This is another good one for a table. I will do something like this. Switch to Control Q. This note in particular would be a note that I would be adding new information all the time. And that's why I have the summary note. Again, a keyboard shortcut here. Let's add shortcuts, how to create links. And you can reorder it if you prefer it like this, for example. But there's more. The final touch here is creating a connection between all these notes. So all the session notes, for example, will have the session tag, create sessions tag, save. This will give me the option to filter by the sessions tag. And now I have a giant list in chronological order of all the sessions. Another thing that I sometimes do, it will depend on the situation and the number of people. Add here the name of the attendee as a tag. Doing this will also help me filter by attendee. So let's do it again, sessions. Now Evernote will give me the option to also filter by person A because this tag is in one or more notes in this list. But keep in mind that this has to be useful. It's always a balance of energy you are using to organize, to create all these little connections and the energy you're spending looking for them. If it's okay for you to go to the list of sessions and check the sessions here, there's no need to create the tag. There's a company that I use the tags just for one person. It's the manager. He wants to easily filter all the sessions I have with him. So on his sessions, I add the tag. He's the only one in the company that asked me to do it. He's the only one that uses the filter. And that's why I only add tags, his name's tags to his notes. Again, it's the balance of energy spent here. I don't have to add the tags to the other people because they don't use this feature. Let's say this is my meeting notes. Let's go to the shortcuts note, copy internal link, and switch to keyboard shortcut, Command K on a Mac or Control Q on Windows. Paste and create links. We also have a note here about creating links. Again, I'm going to copy this link and add it here. Command K again. Can you see how useful it is to connect all this information? If someone is reading this, oh, okay, how do I create links? I can click here. Okay, I then can go back to the meeting notes. Oops, not this one. Let's go back to all the sessions. Is this one here? Now I have it here and I can click here and check the keyboard shortcuts. Pretty cool, right? There are more videos about consulting cases here. And if you want to learn more about Evernote and productivity, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. See you soon.